5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15 years old. I don't care how old you are. Your hair is falling out in clumps. You got no eyebrows, no eyelashes. What do you think the kids do? They bully you. They torture you. They do the whole 9 yards, right? It's rough. So, not only had she already been taken away from her mother, and all this is going on, but her grandparents tried to help her out. So, they started buying her wigs and stuff to make her feel more comfortable. Well, as she's walking through the halls, what do you think the kids did? Yanking wigs off her head and swinging her around, torturing this poor girl. Ridiculousness. So finally, after all these years, whatnot, she comes to her junior year of high school at Clear Lake High School in Texas. I was saying this in my first video before I got all screwed up and I had to restart, but I went to East Lake High School, which was a very affluent area. My family wasn't like rich or by any means. My parents worked their aces off to get what we had and to get us where we were. But a lot of other people in the area had already been established in my area. And kind of the same thing in Clear Lake, Texas is the idea I guess is where I'm going with this. So, anyways. Look, I'm losing my place again already. It's a rough story tonight. Anywho, so Christine's bullied, all these things go on. Her grandparents have her, wigs, whatnot. Finally, she gets to be a junior in high school, right? That's where we're at. Junior in high school at Clear Lake High School. I think that's what keeps throwing me off is like flashbacks of my high school. I think that's what's happening here. Anyways, so she gets there. She's a junior. And I think it's a communication class she's sitting in. And this beautiful, amazing, so popular girl reaches out to her and is like, hey, what's your name? Nice to meet you. Introduces, welcomes her. Come to find out, this is one of the most popular girls in the school and a senior. I mean, you know, when you're an underclassman, seniors are the shiznit. To be welcomed in is awesome. On top of already like being traumatized and bullied so much, I'm sure she felt like $1,000,000. So she gets introduced to Rachel and Tiffany, who are two of the most beautiful, popular, smart, stunning, intelligent, well-loved, rounded, amazing women. I mean, they're teenagers in high school at seniors, but let's be honest. If they took the time to take an underclassman who was being bullied, whatnot, under their wing, not like as a joke, but to truly help them, they're amazing women. These aren't kids we're talking about at this point. These girls had so much, and they had so much potential. Amazing women that they would like, let's take this underclassman that's being bullied, put her under our wing and help her. So they did. They pulled Christine in and they're like, yo, this wig you're working with ain't working. And Christine's like, well, I got alopecia and I don't know how to do makeup and this and that. And they're like, we got you, girl. So they helped her out. They found her a wig that worked for her. They helped her with her makeup. You know what happened? 2003? Christine was voted Miss Irresistible, right? Miss Irresistible. Okay, she was getting wigs pulled off, bullied, pushed down, the whole 9 yards before. Now she's voted Miss Irresistible. I mean, amazing what these girls did for her. So, like I said, she's 1 year younger than them. Tiffany and Rachel, they graduate and they go on in their lives. Christine still has 1 year left in high school, but even though Tiffany and Rachel graduated, they stayed in close contact with their high school friends and especially Christine. So Tiffany's dad had just gotten remarried. So he moved out of his home to live with his wife, which left Tiffany in the home alone. Let me make sure we're all clear on this, because when I'm telling this story, I feel like it gets twisted. Like you guys think we're talking about a 12-year-old left at home. She's 18 years old and just graduated high school. Most of us are like going off to college and stuff. Hell yeah, she can stay in this house on her own. If I hear one more person say, like, she was staying in this house unsupervised. She's 18. Most of her are off to college. Like this is why this happened. She was unsupervised in this home. What, like she wouldn't be unsupervised in her own apartment or in a dorm? Anywho, let's move on. Right, cuckoo? Sorry. So, Tiffany's staying at this home. Her dad got remarried, and she's staying at this home. They just graduated high school in May. Her best friend Rachel's coming over all the time, and her boyfriend Marcus, and his cousin Alberta, whatever his name is. So her boyfriend and his cousin are coming over. On top of that, it's the place to be. I mean, if you guys went to high school with me, you know, my senior year, my parents were gone a lot, and that was the place to be. Broken tables, puke everywhere. We did what we had to do. You know, it's what they do. So times go on, people are having fun, people in and out. But Christine had met a boy as well, because her friends had graduated a year before her. So she had met a boy, Chris Schneider. I don't know if I already told you about him, because I've done 2 videos now and had to restart, but Chris Schneider. So he had graduated way before. Bad seed, bad apple, bad news. No good for no one. He's got a criminal record. Some of it's violent, most of it's drug-induced. Hot friggin' mess. So, obviously, these 2 beautiful girls, Rachel and Tiffany, who took the time to take Christine under their wing, transform her into this awkward, uncomfortable, self-conscious person, into this beautiful, flourishing, confident woman, right? They took her under there and did all that. Well, there's not so gelling and jiving now, because the girls aren't happy with who Christine is hanging out with, Chris Schneider. They think she could do better. So they're still friends with her, but there's been a little bit of distance. They're not really jiving. Well, you know what they say, you are who you hang out with, right? So Chris Schneider is, like I said, not only has that criminal record, whatnot, but he's still heavy into drugs and doing his thing like a chicken friggin' wang, pretty much. Let's just lay it out there. He's getting effed up, and that's what he's doing. So the girls aren't stupid, and I mean, everyone's partying with high schoolers, whatever, but it's too much, and they're not liking the vibe. So they're kind of like, we're not liking him. We think you could do better. So, of course, Christine's upset. She's like, like I said, hasn't had a lot of attention before. This is the first guy who's ever paid attention to me. He's looking at me, loving me, giving me. So, of course, who do you think she chooses? They're teens. Hormones are raging. Who do you think she chooses? The girls or the dudes? Of course, the dude. Hormones are raging, right? So she chooses Chris over them. So distance come. That is until July 18th, 2003. When news breaks that 4 teens have been shot dead in Clear Lake, Texas. Clear Lake, Texas. 4 teens shot dead. Well, it not only comes out that they were shot dead, not like 1, 2, 3, 4 shots dead. These kids, I mean, their kids are 18, 19, 20 years old. Shot, obliterated. 24 shots were shot off in this house. 17 of them hit the kids. The teens. They're not kids, teens. Okay, I just want to clarify that to begin with. So, how it plays out is that Rachel and Tiffany are at their home, and their boyfriends are there, and all of a sudden there's a knock, knock, knock at the door. They open the door. Within minutes of that door opening, there is gunshots exploding in this house. Bullets flying everywhere. Blood splatter everywhere. It's insane. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been in a car where airbags go off. If you're not, like, been in gun ranges and stuff. But, like, there's a lot of smoke and shit. It's a lot going on. Like, within seconds of getting in this home. So, once the dust settles, Tiffany and Marcus, her and her boyfriend, are sitting on the couch. Let me turn my chair. In like a recliner couch, reclined back, hands held. On the floor in front of them is Marcus's cousin, Albert. I'm sorry, I can't get it. Mr. Sanchez. I can't get his first name right. Sorry. Laying on the floor in front of him. But what they do find is that, like, Rachel has been, like, kind of drug off to the side. What is that, right? Like, someone just drug her around. She dragged herself. What happened? So, they go ahead and look at the scene. That's what you gotta do, right? They got no eyewitness and no nothing. So, looking at the scene, and they've got Tiffany and Marcus shot out on the couch, really reclined back, chilling, watching TV. Albert, whatever his name is, in the front. Mr. Sanchez in the front, and Rachel's around the side. As they're looking into Rachel, they see that she's not only been shot, but that she has a cell phone, like within inches from her fingers. As they grab that cell phone and look at it, they can see that she dialed 9-1. I don't know. Can you guys guess what might have been the other digit she was dialing? Probably 1. She was calling 911. Before she was not only shot, but bludgeoned to death. Gotta love her, right? So, bullet holes everywhere, whatnot. People show up. That's how they found them. Is that people were supposed to come there later in the day. They found them. So the medical examiner looks at the bodies, and they see that everybody was killed from gunshot wounds except for Rachel, who literally was shot 6 times, most of them in her abdominal and pelvic, like in her vagina, is where all 6 of her shots mostly were. And then to top it off, she was not killed by gunshot, but literally bludgeoned to death. Pretty much pistol whipped. So, she was bludgeoned to death. The police obviously question everyone, the neighbors and whatnot. Nobody knows anything. Nobody has any information. The victims are all dead. Question all the neighbors. One neighbor has like the smallest bit of information. Like, I don't know. I happen to look out the window. I don't know, but I happen to look out that window. And I did see 2 like older teens walking by. They were all in black. I don't know. They were like older teens. I think one was a male. I think one was female. Maybe it had like a bandana on. I don't know. But I saw it. That's all I know. I mean, that's very minimal friggin' information, like, right? Could you imagine that? From that, the police are like, well, we have no leads, we have nothing. So, let's go ahead and bring in a composite sketch artist and see what we can do. Let's see what we can do off this. Let's see what we can do. So, they bring her in. And for hours, they spend time doing this. When it's all said and done, they have a composite sketch of a girl and a man. They just look like your regular girl and man. They look like your regular Joe Schmoes. To top it off, the sketch artist said, like, the woman had a bandana on. Like, women's hair is a big part of their feature. So having a bandana on really threw her for a loop. Like, it's a big feature. But sure, we'll post it. We'll do what we can. No clues, no nothing. Stuff starts to go cold. So, Daddy ain't having that. Rachel's dad is like, this is not going cold. I ain't down with that. Someone came in here, murdered my freaking child and her friends. I ain't down with it. Let's do what we gotta do. So, for the next couple years, he spends his time advocating for his daughter, working his ace off. I'm trying to watch my language. His ace off. He raises $100,000 in reward money. So he not only puts that money up for reward, but he also uses that money to put those SketchUp of the male and the female that murdered his daughter and her friends on billboards in every exit and entrance into Clear Lake. So on those big billboards, when you're like coming in, like Disney's this way, it says, murderers here, do you know them? That's how it went down. When you go in Clear Lake and when you come out of Clear Lake, every exit, he put that shit on. Kudos to you, Daddy. Like, kudos. He was not giving up. 3 years later, no, we are not laying down and letting this go. So, finally, like I said, it was 3 years later, an anonymous call comes in. 1-800-TIPS, how can I help you? Yes, hi. I'm looking at the composite sketch, and I'm pretty sure that I know who the female murderer is. I don't know. I wasn't there, but I'm pretty sure, like, I'm sorry, what? What? Can you repeat that? It's like, so I want to be an anonymous caller. When we're done, you decide who you think the anonymous caller was, but I want to be an anonymous caller. $100,000 reward. But I think I know who the female is on the sketch composites on the billboards. The cops are, I was like, all right, spit it or quit it, kid. What you got? Spit it or quit it. So, the name, well, I think what would help you with the info is if I didn't just give you the name, but give you some info. The thing I want to tell you that I know who the true killer is that she said she came back in the house and saw Rachel trying to dial 911. And as she went to shoot her gun, there was no more bullets left. So she took that gun and she bludgeoned her, repeatedly pistol whipped her until she was dead. The popos are like, hold up. Hey! We didn't put that shit on the news. Shiznit. No one knew about that. He knows the killer. If she knows, or if he knows about the killer, who is a she at this point, dialing 911 and being bludgeoned, this is the person. This is the lead we've been waiting for 3 years later. Hallelujah. So, they're like, what's the name? He's like, the name is... I wish I had like drums or something good for this. Christine Paolilla, whatever her friggin' loser ass name is. She was going through a lot, so I shouldn't say that. It's not nice. Don't judge. Anyways, Christine Paolilla. So the police obviously like, all right, let's find her. Where's she at? Start doing some research, and they pull up her license picture. Wouldn't you know it? When they pull her license picture, it literally is an almost exact match of the sketch. From this neighbor just looking at a blind real quick at two people walking by. Pretty much exact sketch of what she looked like. One day I'll learn how to put pictures up here and you guys will see, you'll be like, dang, that is exact. Because I've seen it, you'll see it too one day. Anywho, so, and not only do they find out that when they pull it up, but they start doing a little research and they find out that Christine has been charged with drugs and this and that. She is a huge heroin addict. After doing some credit card and ATM and bank searches, they locate her. She is shacked up in like the seediest, nastiest, raunchiest, trying to think of words, I don't want to be judgmental, but like crackhead, lowest, not like rent by the week, but rent by the hour hotels. Okay, so when they get there, the police officers say that this hotel room, there was 2 people in it, Christine and her new husband, Justin. Remember I told you guys? You wonder where the anonymous? My thoughts. Yours, figure it out on your own, but my thoughts. Anyway, so in the hotel room, we've got Christine and her new husband, Justin. And they're both alive, but the room smells of death. They said there was over 100 needles in this room. Like I said, she was a huge heroin addict. She was saying she was spending up to $1,000 a day. Her dad, like I had mentioned earlier, was killed when she was 2 years old. When she turned 18, she got a $300,000, life insurance or death claim, whatever it is. What do you think she did with it? I mean, right? So, the room was covered. I wish I could literally put the pictures up so you guys could see. They said that this room, having 2 living people, they were both on the brink of death, but having 2 living people in it, that this room smelled more like death than walking in a crime scene. There was blood sprays all over the walls, because they shoot up and then, you got to pull back. And then when they were done with the needle, they would shoot that leftover that had a little bit of blood in it. It would spray all over the walls. So, like I said, one day I'll figure out how to put pictures up and I'll add pictures of this shit. And you guys will see, it was, I can't even describe it to you guys. Disgusting. Covered, moldy food, smelled like absolute friggin' death. So they bring Christine in. Let's get to the story, right? So they bring Christine in and her husband, Justin. So they question Christine, who is now going through huge heroin withdrawals, obviously. And she's like, nope, not talking. So they're like, Justin, he's like, oh, let me tell you what. My wife had said, what had happened was, my wife said she walked in there and she shut these bitches up. And she thought one of them might still be alive, so she turned around. She tried to dial 911, and she beat her with the gun. Are you freaking kidding me? Like I said, if I get the pictures of you, see what this girl looks like? Like, she look like... Anywho, so they confront Christine, and Christine's like, no. What had happened was my boyfriend at the time, Chris Schneider, he went there, and I went with him, but I was outside, and he ran in there, and he killed all my friends. So the police obviously like, hold up, hey, Bolo, we gotta find Chris Schneider now. Where's he at? He's a friggin' four kid killer. Where's he at? Well, Chris Schneider finds out the popos are looking for him. So what do you think he does? You guys thought he went to Vegas and was like, let's put it all on Black 21. No, that's not what he did. He left everything, ran into the woods. He just ran off into the woods like a little dwarf. You know, like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. He just scurried off into the woods. And thought they were going to like save him. I don't know. Scurried off in the woods. 1 month later, they found Chris Schneider. They found his ass in the woods. He was bloated, dead, and decomposing. Freaking coward. Rather than dealing with what he did, he had ate a handful of prescription pills and OD'd rather than dealing with the fact that he had killed 4 teenagers who had just graduated high school. So, back it up again to Christine, right? So Christine's again like I said, my ex Chris did everything. Well, her hubby, Justin's all like, well, what happened was my wife said that she knew Rachel was alive, so she went back in and tried to shoot her. But there was no more bullets left, and she saw she was trying to dial 911 and beat her over and over again with the blunt end of the gun. Pistol whipped her ass. And I shouldn't even say pistol whipped her ass. Like, it's a proud thing. Because it's not. I mean, it's an innocent kid. Anywho. So, obviously, they go back into Christine. They're like, listen, here's what happened is, yeah, Schneider's dead in the woods. But your husband is giving us info, details. She's like, okay, yeah, I did it. I had the second gun. I shot him. I did. I shot him. My boyfriend at the time, he shot him too. And then when I was done, we left. And I had a feeling that Rachel was still alive. So we went back. And when I walked inside, I heard a gurgling noise. And I looked. I couldn't find her. She was behind the couch trying to dial 911. She only got to 911. She said, so I went to shoot her. But I was out of bullets. So what I did instead was take the end of my gun and I bludgeoned her. She says the last thing that Rachel said to her was, why? She said, I didn't say anything other than to beat her till she was dead. Freaking kidding me? You might be the ugliest duckling I've ever met in my life. You should have never been met into a Swan ever, you ugly friggin' psycho duckling. But let's escape that and my feelings. Woosah, cuckoo, back into the zone. So, yeah, that's what happened. So, needless to say, she did admit to what she'd done, and she was sentenced. So, let me get it straight, make sure I don't give you guys wrong info. Christine was charged and convicted of capital murder, which, of course, is punishable by the death penalty, as it should be. I don't care how you do it, but you murder people, you should be murdered back. That's how I feel. Anywho, but Christine was charged and convicted of capital murder, but since she was only the bright, sweet, innocent age of 17 years old, she was spared the death penalty. Thank goodness. No, thank goodness. Anyways, so she was sentenced to life in prison. She will be eligible for her first parole hearing in 2046, is it? I think 2046. I don't know. I could be wrong. 2046 or something, I think. She'll be 60 years old. I don't think she gets it. I don't think she deserves it. I mean, I don't know if she'll get it or not, but I don't think she deserves it. You don't get to do that. You don't get to have people in your life that work their aces off when they had no ulterior motives in helping you be a better person, and helping you not be bullied, helping you not have your wig pulled off your head and be beat down in the halls. They have no ulterior motives other than just being nice, sweet girls. Maybe you were their project. Maybe you were what they were going to do and make a difference. That was going to be their senior year thing. Either way, it wasn't in any ways, not that I've heard of, as being a joke or taunting her. Like, I don't know. Luckily, I wouldn't think of myself as being popular in high school or anything. But I certainly didn't think I was like the nerd by any means. I was kind of down with all. I don't know. People were scared, one or the other. But, it's like in high school to be welcome. Could you imagine having wigs yanked off your head and all this going on and having two of the most beautiful, coolest, greatest girls welcome you into your group? It's like they say, like, no good deed, right? Like, anywho. So that's that. How's that for a murder story for you guys on a Thursday night? A little Thursday night thrillers for yous. Thank you guys so much for checking in. I had to start it over because I lost my spot. I was doing too much at once. Story of my life. It ain't easy being a scatterbrain, but someone's got to do it. Anyways, peace, love, chicken wangs. Thank you so, so much to all who chime in, listen, watch, and of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Storytime with Auntie Kookoo, KOOKOO. Check you on the flip side, Skillet. Deuces. Thank you, loves.